Hi, Jopr here. Today I'll cover up the all-new XPENG P7. This video will be a bit different from my other videos. While I'll be covering general details about the car, such as range, power, tech, and pricing, my friend will try to explain what this car truly represents. So, let's get started. The new P7 is a true head-turner, designed with a focus on pure, extreme, and futuristic aesthetics. Stance. It embodies the athletic stance of top supercars with its low-slung, wide body, and elongated profile. Height. Only 1,407 mm at lowest air suspension setting, which is 16 mm lower than a Panamera, providing a flying close-to-the-ground sensation. Width. 1,970 mm, contributing to better cornering stability and a stronger, muscular vehicle presence. Length. A long 5,017 mm. L113. Ratio. The distance from the driver's foot pedal to the center of the front wheel is 628 mm, 5 mm longer than a Panamera, enhancing elegance and safety. Wheels and brakes. Minimum 20-inch wheels with a diameter of 730 mm, matching high-performance cars like the Panamera and Taycan. Features wide Mandarin duck tires, 245 mm front, 275 mm rear, to greatly enhance safety performance during aggressive driving or emergency maneuvers. Offers optional 21-inch forged wheels for enhanced aesthetics and performance, though with a slight impact on range. Equipped with Brembo 4-piston fixed calipers for superior braking performance. Aerodynamics. Achieves a remarkable drag coefficient of just 0.201 at 120 km/h, a real-world tested figure, not just simulated.
All right, let's talk about a car that's way more than just a new model year update. This is about the rebirth of a true pioneer. The all-new XPENG P7 is here. And folks, it is making some serious waves, signaling where the entire car industry might be going. So to really get why this new P7 is such a big deal, we need to kind of rewind the clock. Picture this, it's 2020. The EV market, it's barely a blip on the radar. We're talking a tiny 3.9% market share. And if you looked at the top 20 best-selling cars, not a single EV in sight. Now, jump to today. The whole world's flipped upside down. EVs are not just on the chart, they are the chart, holding the top 6 spots. It's a completely different battlefield, and that's the world this new P7 is charging into. Okay, section 1, a pioneer reborn. And that's really the key here, how the original P7 shaped the industry. To get what this new P7 is all about, you've got to understand the massive impact the original one had. I mean, the first P7 was a genuine game changer. You know that full-width light bar you see on a ton of EVs these days? Yeah, the P7 was the first to mass-produce that look. It was also the first in China to roll out high-speed autonomous driving for everybody, not just as a concept. And it pioneered the kind of advanced in-car voice control that we pretty much take for granted now. This wasn't just a collection of cool gadgets, it all came together to make it the first pure EV from a new company to break 100,000 sales. It literally set the standard. All right, section 2, the design revolution. So keeping that legacy in mind, let's dive into the new car. It's really built on 3 big ideas, 3 core pillars. And the first one is all about a complete revolution in design. We're talking a less is more philosophy that creates what they call a supercar stance. You know, the CEO, He Xiaopeng, summed it up perfectly. He said, if a car doesn't make you feel excited and proud every time you get in, you might as well take the bus. And that hits the nail on the head, right? This isn't just about getting from A to B. It's about creating something that sparks an emotion, something that makes you do that little glance back after you park. And they pull this off with what they call a supercar stance, which really boils down to 3 critical measurements. First, it is low. At 1,407 millimeters, it's actually lower than a Porsche Panamera, giving it that really aggressive, stuck-to-the-ground look. Second, it's wide, 1,970 millimeters wide. That gives it a muscular look for sure, but it also helps with stability. And third, that long wheelbase. Specifically, the distance from the front wheels to the pedals is super long. That creates these really elegant, safe proportions you usually only find on high-end Grand Tours. And this is where all that beautiful design pays off in a big way. We're looking at a verified drag coefficient of just 0.201. Now that number came after over 1,000 simulations. What does it mean? It's basically a measure of how slippery the car is, how easily it cuts through the air. And let me tell you, a number this low is absolutely world-class. It means better performance and more range, all because the car isn't fighting the wind.
Okay, I heard range. So, what is the range of this car? The P7 will be available in multiple range versions, including a minimum of 702 kilometers, a high-energy version with 750 kilometers, and an ultra-long-range version achieving 820 kilometers. XPENG's goal is to make every kilowatt-hour run further. It's equipped with an 800-volt high-voltage 5C charging AI battery. This allows for an incredibly fast charge. 10 minutes of charging can add 525 kilometers of range.
Okay, section 3, the performance heart. Because let's be real, a car that looks this good better have the muscle to back it up. And that brings us to the second pillar, performance. But we're not just talking raw power. We're talking about power that's fused with refined handling. The whole engineering philosophy is captured in this one simple phrase, one zhou shi kuai, which translates to stability is speed. And this is so smart. In the electric era, making a car go fast in a straight line, that's the easy part. Any powerful motor can do that. The real art, the real challenge, is making that speed stable, controllable, and something that gives the driver total confidence. And when you look at the numbers, they absolutely deliver on this promise. We're talking 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in a wild 3.7 seconds, a top speed of 230, and, just as important, it can slam on the brakes and go from 100 to 0 in just over 33 meters. That is elite stopping power. But the numbers only tell part of the story. How it delivers this stable speed, well, that's where things get really interesting. And it all comes down to the drivetrain. So, what's the secret sauce here? It's a mid-motor electric layout. Now, what does that mean? It means they put the heaviest part, the motor, right in the middle of the car's wheelbase. This is a trick straight out of the supercar playbook. By doing this, you get less weight hanging off the front and back, which makes a huge difference in how the car corners and how the steering feels. It's what prevents that scary fishtailing you can get in other powerful rear-wheel drive cars. It's all about control. But here's the kicker, and this is what I find so impressive. Even with all this focus on performance and handling, they didn't forget about practicality. The P7 has 575 liters of trunk space. Just look at that comparison. It's way more than its key competitors. So you get a performance machine that you can actually, live with day to day. All right, that brings us to our fourth section, and maybe the most important pillar of all, the intelligent soul. This is where the car becomes more than a machine. The goal here wasn't just to pack in features, but to create a car that feels like a true intelligent partner. Now, intelligent partner. I know, it sounds like a great marketing buzzword, right? But what does that actually mean for you, the driver? How does a car go from being just a tool to something that feels like it's genuinely on your team? Well, it means the car is aware and interactive in ways that feel like they're straight out of science fiction. For instance, you can literally talk to the car from the outside to get it to open the trunk or the charging port. Its Sentry mode is wild. If someone gets too close, the screen inside will physically turn to look at them as a warning. Stuck in a super tight parking spot? No problem, just hop out and let the car park itself. Even inside, the center screen has a robotic arm that swivels to face whoever's talking. And get this, when you take a hard corner, the side bolsters in your seat actually inflate to hold you in place. This is intelligence you can literally see and feel. And this isn't just clever software, okay? This kind of intelligence needs some serious muscle behind it. Every single new P7 comes standard with 3 ORIN X chips. All told, that's 2,250 TOPS of AI computing power. Now, TOPS stands for trillions of operations per second. You can basically think of it as the horsepower for the car's brain. And it's this massive amount of processing power that makes its intelligent soul possible. So, Section 5, defining the next era. When you put it all together, this revolutionary design, this elite performance, this deep, deep intelligence, what does it all add up to? What does it signal for the future of the car? Well, for one, it adds up to an incredibly bold statement of intent. The CEO hasn't been shy about this at all. He's on the record saying they expect to completely surpass their main American competitor. And not just in China, but in the US as well. This car is their weapon of choice in that battle. And really, what the new P7 represents is a fundamental shift in what we even mean by a premium car. The old formula was pretty simple. It was all about engine power, some nice leather, and maybe a decent infotainment screen. The new formula, the one the P7 is championing, is about the whole experience. It's about that perfect balance of performance and handling. It's about a design that makes you feel something, and it's about a true AI partnership that makes the car smarter, safer, and way more intuitive to live with. So you have this convergence, right? You have radical style, you have stable speed, and you have this incredible AI all coming together. It really feels like a brand new blueprint for what a car should be. It's moving beyond the old school metrics into something much more complete, which really leaves us with one big question to chew on. Is this combination of beauty, brains, and brawn? Is this the new formula for the car of the future?
So what is price of this machine? Unlike previous models, the new P7 will not have a pre-sale price. Instead, XPENG will directly announce the final official price at its formal market launch this month. This is a strategic move for this first major generational change of a Chinese new energy vehicle, as the market already has a reasonable understanding of its positioning. There you have it. The XPENG P7 is more than just transportation. It's a statement of advanced technology, luxury, and driving pleasure. Seeing it in person under different lighting conditions will be an even more impressive experience than any photo or video. That's it for today's review. If you enjoyed deep dive into the XPENG P7, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know in the comment. Would you buy this? Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one. Peace.